21-year-old housewife for stabbing husband to death in Bauchi. Governor Bago directs security agencies to launch stop and search operations to curb insecurity in Niger State. President Tinubu vows to remove bottlenecks to investment, reposition economy to favor youths. And from the foreign scene, at least 10 people killed in heavy rains in Ivory Coast. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us, and now the news in full. The police command in Bauchi has arrested a 21-year-old housewife, Maimunatu Suleiman, for allegedly stabbing her husband to death at Kofardumi, a suburb of Bauchi metropolis. The acting spokesman of the command, Assistant Superintendent of Police Aminu Ahmed, stated this in a statement made available to newsmen on Friday in Bauchi State. He said Maimunatu allegedly stabbed her husband with the intention of killing him following an altercation between them. He added that preliminary investigation revealed that the suspect stabbed her husband, Aliyu Muhammad, at the same address on the 5th of July 2023 at about 1800 hours in their matrimonial home. Assistant Superintendent of Police Ahmed said the Commissioner of Police, Awal Muhammad, directed that the case be transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department for investigation to further unravel the circumstances surrounding the death of the victim. Moving on, the Katsina State Police Command says its operatives have killed one suspected terrorist, arrested two others, and recovered 100 rustled cattle in Katsina communities. The command spokesman, ASP Sadiq Abubakar, who disclosed this in a statement on Friday, said Nemesis caught up with the suspects following receipt of a credible intelligence report about their activities and hideout. The two suspected terrorists arrested are Ahmadu Abubakar, 30, also known as Maiboza, of Wagini village in Batari local government area, and Abbas Lawai, 40, aka Abbas Dogo, of Feeling Polo Quarters, Katsina local government area. Both suspects, who confessed to being under the camp of one Surajo, a suspected notorious bandit leader, also admitted that they participated in the attacks on Galadimawa, Karau, Regina, Fanturawa communities, all in Kaduna State and some parts of Niger State. The command said it also recovered over 100 cattle after police operatives led by the DPO Denja repelled suspected terrorists who attacked a Fulani settlement at Ongwarogo and Rafingora in Denja local government area of Katsina State. ASP Sadiq said the body of the slain suspect was discovered in the course of scanning the scene. Now, meanwhile, Niger State Governor Muhammad Bago has directed security agencies in the state to begin stop and search operations to curb insecurity in the state. Governor Bago also disclosed that plans were on to ensure that schools, that had remained under lock due to banditry would be reopened and internally displaced persons will return to their ancestral homes. He said deliberate steps must be taken to ensure that farmers remain committed to farming activities, adding that fertilizers would be made available at subsidized rates. Bago gave the order when he visited the Emir of Minna, Omar Farouk Bahago, in his palace in Minna, the state capital, over the robbery incident that happened on Tuesday afternoon, during which two palace guards were shot by the gunmen.
We have come to Minna today again to also commiserate with His Royal Highness over the last incidents of robbery attack at the palace. And we have come to reassure him and Nigerites they are on top of situation, and by the grace of God we'll bring those people to book. And we have also given a marching order for stop and search in the Minna metropolis. This will commence from today, and our exits will definitely be blocked for thorough checks by the grace of God. The state government is going to launch fertilizer on Monday, in a subsidized rate for our farmers to be able to go back to farm and continue farming.
Earlier, the Emir of Minna, Omar Farouk Bahagu, called on the governor to be more deliberate in taking actions that will make the state a safe haven for all. The Commander 1 Brigade of the Nigerian Army Gusau and Sector 1 Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Hadarindaji, Brigadier General Sani Ahmed, has expressed the commitment of the military to ensuring a secure learning environment for the management and students of the Federal University Gusau and all other institutions of learning in Zamfara State. The commander gave the commitment at the headquarters of 1 Brigade Gusau while playing host to the Vice Chancellor of Federal University Gusau, Professor Muazu Abubakar, his management team, and as well as the member representing Gusau's Afe constituency, Kabir Ahmed. He assured that the Nigerian military will continue to employ the use of technology to tackle the security challenges bedeviling Zamfara State. General Ahmed stressed that they enhance the security of Fogus and the students residing outside the school campus. The Nigerian Army, in conjunction with other security agencies, will work together to provide robust security for the students. A statement by the Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, 1 Brigade Gusau, Yahya Ibrahim, said the brigade commander also stated that efforts will be put together to ensure a secure environment and maintain lasting peace and harmony in the state. Meanwhile, the police command in Enugu State says it has recovered 4 lifeless bodies of suspected fleeing sit-at-home enforcers who were overpowered and hit by bullets. This is contained in a statement issued by the State Command spokesperson, DSP Daniel Ndukwe, on Saturday in Enugu. Ndukwe said a combined team of tactical police operatives discovered and recovered the lifeless bodies of 4 of the male hoodlums in a forest behind G. Ede filling station at Auku Now Enugu, where they escaped into. He said the development was sequel to the earlier reports of operatives dislodging armed subversive criminal elements who attempted to enforce the illegal sit-at-home order in the early hours of July 7th. According to the spokesman, the operatives intercepted the criminals at one day Akunana Enugu as they were snatching an Entrico branded Sharon minivan from its driver at gunpoint. A manhunt operation was launched while a thorough search conducted on the vehicle led to the recovery of 1 AK-47 rifle with magazine loaded with 19 live ammunition of 7.62 caliber, 2 bottles of petrol bomb, and other incriminating exhibits. Operatives of Oshun Amotekunko on Friday arrested 2 suspects for impersonating the police and stealing in Ile-Ife. The suspects are Isaiah Friday Ezekiel, 41, from Cross River State, and John Apata Kofi, 60, from Togo. State Commander Amotekunko, Brigadier Bashir Adewimbe, in a statement on Friday, said the suspects on Thursday conspired and burgled a house in Eleweran, Kajola village in Ile-Ife, where they stole a bag of cement. He said Ezekiel would dress in a mobile police uniform while his accomplice Kofi would put a Federal Road Safety Corps, that's FRSC, beret when they go out for the criminal operations. He further said that the suspects were arrested after a complaint was lodged at the Ile-Ife Amotekun command by a resident who spotted Ezekiel around 11 p.m. with a bag of cement. The police uniform, police beret, iron toy gun, and charms were found in their possession, according to the Corps. During the cross-examination, the suspects confessed to perpetrating the act, adding that they have been involved in such activities for a long time. A 3-story building under construction has collapsed in Okotomi area of Okpanam in Oshimili North local government area of Delta State. The building, which was meant for a hotel, caved in around 6 p.m. on Friday. No casualty had been recorded at the time of filing this report. Now, this is the latest in the recent building collapses across the country. Just on Monday, a 5-story building also under construction collapsed in Life Camp area of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Emergency responders, including officials of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, rescued no fewer than 9 persons who were trapped in the Abuja collapsed building. Also on June 29, another story building that was under construction collapsed in Obio Akbo local government area of Rivers State, injuring about 4 persons. The Committee of Inquiry set up by the Anambra State government to look into the examination fraud involving Mmesoma Ejikeme has confirmed that she manipulated her unified tertiary matriculation examination result, giving herself a score of 362 as against an actual score of 249. The committee, in its 8-page report, said the students of Anglican Girls Secondary School in Nnewi admitted that she manipulated the fake result herself using her phone. The committee, in its report signed by the Anambra State Commissioner of Information, Paul Nwosu, said it conducted interviews with relevant parties, including Mmesoma, JAMB officials, and other individuals involved in the process, as well as the principal of Anglican Girls Secondary School. The report noted that JAMB revealed that Mmesoma made several requests to JAMB asking for her result, and each of the times she received in her phone the same score of 249 total aggregate. The committee said that in Mmesoma's submission, she owned up in the presence of her principal and education secretary that the narration of JAMB officials was a true and correct description of what happened. The committee said it tried to find out the motive behind her action, but Mmesoma replied that nothing motivated her. According to the committee, Mmesoma is expected to tender a written apology to JAMB, the Anglican Girls Secondary School, and the Anambra State government. All right, we'll move on to the story. So meanwhile, reactions have continued to trail the fake result controversy between the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, and a candidate, Mmesoma Ejikeme Joy. In Makurdi, residents are worried about the examination process, which they feel is susceptible to compromise, as well as Nigeria's over-reliance on paper qualification. Jimmy Adzade reports.
Since the alleged falsification of our result, there have been accusations and counter-accusations between the body and Mmesoma before her eventual admission for falsifying the result. For Makurdi residents, the controversy has exposed a scale of societal decay as well as an erosion of morals which require repair.
Because as far as I'm concerned, it's still an allegation, but it shows lapses in our system nonetheless. Because when did they sit for the exam? Why has it taken so long for them to be revealing that this is a forged case?
What we are saying, that many people have collected the same results and they have sent to universities, and universities have checked the same results that are not sincere, and the JAMB has approved these results, and those people are in the university.
Others are concerned that JAMB has much more work to do to standardize its operations and maintain the integrity of the examination.
So JAMB on their own part also should standardize their operations, such that some of these results should not be a mystery. Once you have access, you should check, and confirming its authenticity shouldn't be an issue at all.
JAMB have to work on their system very well, because if people lost faith that this JAMB is no longer producing the right results, it's not telling the truth of academics knowledge, then automatically people will start doubting anything the institution does.
But I believe there are so many fake results that have gone unnoticed. And all JAMB has to do is they need to check their cyber security and maybe upgrade it and improve on certain areas to curtail issues like this.
They also said the controversy should be blamed on poor parenting and the over-reliance on paper qualification for assessing one's competence.
So the value system has eroded so that children are being encouraged also to go through this means. We are showing them that you need to find some smart way to excel. So parents have their own lapses too.
See somebody who forge a result, they cannot defend. They get big marks or high marks, and coming to proving it maybe in their field of specialization or what the result says, it becomes a problem. So I think there should be other means of assessing our capabilities rather than depending on paper results.
JAMB has confirmed that the candidate actually scored 249 and not the 362 she allegedly forged. Meanwhile, JAMB has withdrawn Mesoma Ejikemejoy's result and barred her from partaking JAMB examination for 3 years. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, we go to Katsina, where residents embrace tree planting. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome to Trust TV, where we document the Nigerian story. Our programming showcases the rich culture and diversity of Nigeria. We strive to amplify the voices that make our nation unique. Our programming is designed to take you on a journey through the different tastes of entertainment in our country. We showcase the best of Nigerian culture, from traditional craft to cutting-edge technology. Our team of expert journalists are dedicated to unveiling the intricacies of our culture and telling the untold stories that binds us all. And let's not forget the food. Nigeria has diverse and flavorful cuisines, some of the favorites to millions across the world. What is Nigeria without its people, their passions and their talent? Trust TV is not just a channel, it's a platform that brings you closer to everything that makes Nigeria great. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. And here's a recap of our top stories. We brought you police arrest a 21-year-old housewife for stabbing husband to death in Bauchi. And Governor Bago directs security agencies to launch stop and search operations to curb insecurity in Niger State. Now moving on to more stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Friday in Abuja assured the manufacturing and service sector that more reforms will be unfolded to boost efficiency and attract investments. The president also said that the ongoing economic reforms will be deliberately steered to capture and favor teeming youth in the country. President Tinubu gave the assurance when a delegation from MTN led by Group Chairman Nsebisi Jonas visited him at the State House. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President, Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Dele Alake, said the President, while committing himself to removing an impediment to investment in the country, acknowledged the sweeping changes across the world, largely driven by technology. President Tinubu said the growing rural-urban migration can only be controlled with more investments in digital technology that will directly improve healthcare systems and education for the poor. The MTN Group chairman said the company had a plan of investing $3.5 billion in the economy over the next 5 years, with a broader vision of becoming a Pan-African company by moving investments from the Middle East and focusing more on Africa, especially Nigeria, where it gets the highest return on investments. Residents of Katsina State are responding to the tree planting calls by the Emir Abdulmumin Kabir Usman to mitigate effects of climate change. The Emir had, during his Salam message, asked the people to anticipate late arrival of rainfall and decline in agricultural production because of climate change. Abdullahi Amadi completes the report.
Some individuals and groups such as Youth Against Deforestation and Environmental Degradation in Katsina are planting 1 million seedlings from the month of July to September 2023. This is coming few days after the Emir of Katsina cautioned the people of the state on the effects of climate change, which according to him is one of the major causes of all social and economic problems confronting the region. My respected subjects, there is a trouble around us, which is climate change, and the only remedy to it is massive planting of trees. Unfortunately, many residents are busy destroying what remained of our bushes and forest reserves without a commensurate plan to plant another trees. Now, every one of us is feeling the effects, and it is a price we all must pay if nothing is done to stop it. I urge you to massively plant trees and nurture it to maturity. The Youth Against Deforestation is also poised to work with other relevant associations to change the narrative. They also warned that destruction of forests and tree felling could be consequential, calling for legislations to put a stop to the negative attitudes.
So youth support against deforestation and environmental degradation, concern about indiscriminate cutting down trees planted by our forefathers. And I am appealing to people to imbibe the culture of planting more trees for the benefit of ecosystem and biodiversity to ensure habitable environment. And I call on people to include planting trees into their ceremonial activities like wedding, birthday, and naming ceremonies.
The Youth Against Deforestation and Environmental Degradation in Katsina State is nursing over 15 million seedlings annually for planting and distribution to clubs, associations, public and private groups, free of charge. Experts agreed that to discourage indiscriminate felling of trees, governments and other stakeholders must make energy such as kerosene and cooking gas available and affordable to the Nigerian people. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
According to the Agricultural Commodities Association of Nigeria, policies and intervention schemes executed by the federal government have failed to transform Nigeria's agricultural sector. Nigeria, which is home to several crops and livestock, has struggled to unlock the full potential and economic contributions of the sector. Trust TV's Chamunda Bank reports that the association is calling on the federal government to give urgent attention to the underperforming sector.
Nigeria relies on $10 billion of imports to meet its food and agricultural production shortfalls. From 2016 to 2021, Nigeria spent 6.47 trillion naira importing agricultural commodities like wheat, sugar, fish, milk, amongst others. This is despite the country having an arable land area of 34 million hectares, where only 44% is being utilized. Nigeria has in the past introduced several intervention schemes, according to the Agricultural Commodities Association, has failed to have the desired effect.
The Anchor Borers program failed. Majority of the intervention programs for the federal agricultural agencies have not succeeded. Commercial banks, more than 70 to 80% of agricultural loans in their books have failed. Private lending to agriculture is failing. The reason they are failing is because we are not lending to agriculture properly. It's because we are not understanding agriculture properly. Agriculture are long-term projects. It takes time for agriculture to stabilize, to become productive and to work. If you want agriculture to work in rural Nigeria, what do? You build rural infrastructure. You support rural farmers. You provide machinery. You provide cheap funds. How is it that farmers will be assessing loans at anywhere from 25 to 30%? It's not workable. And then you are expected to pay back that loan within a period of 1 year.
Despite Nigeria's vast potential in the agri sector, the country faces several challenges such as insecurity, natural disasters, and inflation, which has affected its food security. According to both the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, and the Food Agriculture Organization, FAO, 25 million Nigerians are at risk of facing food insecurity. President of Maize Association of Nigeria, MAN, Dr. Bello Abubakar, delves into the issue.
The only thing that we can do now is to pay our attention and focus this sector of agriculture truly, so that we can provide all the necessary needs, all the necessary support for the farmers to go back farm to produce. Because without production, there will be no food. And we must produce what you are eating, as how our former president said. Because without this production, there will be a problem. So the only solution is for all the, right from the government, our associations and other stakeholders to do the needful, to do what is right. That is to give the maximum support to the farmers to produce.
According to the association, there is a need to select leaders of the agricultural sector amongst professional farmers who are well versed in the processes, system, and are fully aware of the challenges of the sector, rather than politicizing the positions. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
On a foreign scene, at least 10 people have died in the heavy rains and landslide that pummeled Abidjan, Ivory Coast, officials told AFP. The count was a provisional toll as the Friday, according to the military's firefighting brigade, GSPM. In the industrial zone of Yopogon, the first landslide struck around 3 a.m. on Thursday, causing 4 deaths and 1 injury, he added. In the same area, a second landslide left 7 people injured and another 4 dead, including a child, he said. Not far from there, in Atekobe, Mosikro, another body was pulled from the landslide at dawn, closer to the city center in Kokodi. 1 person was swept away by the waters, while the body was later found by residents. The firefighters were told another 3 victims had been washed away, but Ba said that the operation to find them had been called off after a search that was in vain. Finally, in sports, Shooting Stars defender Uchenna Odey has returned to training after spending time on the side slide as a result of injury. The former Wiki Tourist centre back suffered a knee injury which kept him out for the better part of the second stanza of the 2022 to 2023 season. Odey was stretched off the pitch during the Shooting Stars match day 11 encounter against Plateau United at the Lekan Salami Stadium at Damasimba, Ibadan. The player has now handed the club a big boost by returning to training in time for the new season. Shooting Stars are currently training at the Olubadan Stadium ahead of the campaign. And with that, we wrap up news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.